I'd never even heard about her until this friend said Meghan Markle. I was like, right, okay, give me a bit of background. What's going on here? So no, I'd never watched Suits. I'd never heard of Meghan before.
Certainly, Prince Henry of Wales and Rachel Meghan Markle came from very different worlds. And if not for a fortuitous meeting in a swanky London club, they would never have crossed paths.
I was beautifully surprised when I walked into that room and saw her, and there she was sitting there. I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna really have to up my game and sit down and and make sure I've got a good chat.
While Harry's life story was an open book, there was a lot to learn about Meghan. She grew up in suburban Los Angeles. Her dad, Thomas, an Emmy Award-winning lighting director. Mum, Doria, a makeup artist and yoga teacher. Meghan was intelligent, precocious, with a vivid imagination.
Your Royal Highness, take one. Your Highness, isn't there anything to do around this kingdom anymore?
But who would have thought her backyard fantasy about being a princess would one day come true?
And don't go
I'm very happy for her. You know, I'm glad she's, you know, living the dream and living every girl's, I guess, fantasy as far as like growing up and marrying a prince. So she's worked really hard to get where she's at.
So are you far out of town?
Tom MArkle is Meghan's half-brother from their father's first marriage. He now lives in Grants Pass, a small rural town in Oregon where he works as a glass fitter. But he fondly remembers those early years growing up with Meghan in Los Angeles.
When she was born, it really, I mean, I felt as though we had more of a family unit and brought us closer together as a family.
What's Meghan like?
Very happy. Just really happy all growing up. She's very proud, self-driven also.
Is Harry a lucky guy?
Harry's as lucky as he can be, you know.
When news of the royal romance first broke, the British press was quick to paint a tawdry picture of Meghan's background. Her family was labelled dysfunctional, trailer trash, and much was made of the fact her mother was African American.
Why were the tabloids so keen to paint a picture that Meghan came from the wrong side of the tracks?
The initial knee-jerk reaction to the news that Meghan was a biracial woman, was dating Princess Diana's son, was racist, quite frankly. They were talking about how her mother lived in a part of Los Angeles where there were bloodbath murders, where there were gangland killings. I mean, nothing could be further from the truth.
Meghan went to the finest schools available in Los Angeles, period. I mean, private schools all the way through college. 70% of the population can't afford that. So it wasn't a crime-ridden, I mean, horrible neighborhood. Woodland Hills was upper middle class.
Meghan's parents split when she was 2, but she stayed close to both. The same can't be said of her relationship with her half-siblings. Meghan hasn't spoken to them in years. And given the headlines both Tom and Samantha Markle keep generating, that probably won't change anytime soon. Tom's latest indiscretion, being arrested for illegal possession of firearms.
You know, God forbid, if you do drink too much and get in trouble one night, you know, it makes national headlines. You have to change your life, change your lifestyle, change everything, because you are being followed. You are having pictures taken of you on several different occasions. So it hasn't been easy. It just makes you more aware of, you know, you're basically representing Meghan Markle and she's getting married to Prince Harry. So anything you do is under a microscope.
Not that the media needs to look too hard. Recently, Sister Samantha raised eyebrows again with her threat to write a tell-all book called Princess Pushy.
Does she dislike Meghan?
I think she's had this ongoing resentment since Meg was born with her, and everybody's got ghosts and stuff in the closet, and secrets and hatred, and it's a normal family. But this has brought a lot of stuff to the surface. You know, it's just like, why? It's just, could just be happy for her, you know, just, you know, say, good job, that's amazing, you know, instead of threatening to write a book about family secrets and say bad things about your sister, you know.
All these family shenanigans, Tom's arrest, Samantha's public comments, do you think any of these family antics are embarrassing to the royal family?
Well, the royal family have been pretty embarrassing over the years. I mean, there's no tapes of late night conversations of members of the Markle family to throw out.
And nobody is more aware of that than Harry himself. His parents' marriage bust-up was one scandal after another.
Well, there were 3 of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded.
Dickie Arbiter, press secretary to Diana and Charles, saw the impact the ugly divorce had on the young prince.
While he had a mother and father, they were living under separate roofs, so he had a different type of upbringing. And he wants very much to have something that he never had, and that's actually to create a family. And I think with Meghan, he'll actually do that.
There's no doubt about it. They're both birds with a broken wing. They're both not from stable families. And I find the one worrying thing about Meghan's family is that on both sides, the marriages have lasted for 2 or 3 years, then they've split up. So marriage and abandonment are part of family law. And with this family, she's got to make a real go of it. There's no walking away.
For Meghan, that resolve to make a go of it is only strengthened by her own failed marriage to Hollywood producer Trevor Engelson.
The relationship between Trevor and Meghan seems to be a match made in heaven. This was 2 people who, as a couple, were a young power couple in Hollywood. And she went off to Toronto, where she got a job working on Suits, which made her name, and he remained in Los Angeles. And over a period of 2 years, the distance grew between them till the point came where the relationship ended. And one of his friends said to me that she actually sent the wedding ring and the engagement ring back in a jiffy bag.
Harry, meanwhile, has had his own fair share of serious relationships. He was certainly no commitment phobe, but finding somebody suitable and willing to take on all the responsibilities and scrutiny of joining the royal family wasn't as easy as it might seem.
He loved having a long-term girlfriend. He was with Chelsea Davy for on and off a little bit, but they were together for 6 years with Cressida Bonus for 2 years. But both those girls said for them, the deal breaker was the press intrusion. They simply couldn't handle it.
I remember someone saying to me when he found the right person, she would come completely out of left field, and they were right.
As royal correspondent for Hello magazine, Emily Nash has got close to Prince Harry over the years.
I think it's fair to say he probably was lonely. I think, you know, he obviously has great friends, but it's a very unique role that he has. And having someone he can really share that with, who is, you know, sharing the spotlight, taking part in the work and supporting him, you know, will really be the making of him.